Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Small Business Chat. I'm here with Karen, and we have a guest today, Rakhee Wood. Hello, ladies, and welcome. How are you this morning? Great cups, look at that, love it. We've grabbed our cuppa, and we're in what I like to call the FB office kitchen. So we're here for a chat and a little bit of a discussion. And I want to introduce Rakhee Wood, who I actually know through a networking group, Athena. My local one, but we've been having such a good chat that what I love about Rakhee is that she's an independent financial advisor with Throgmorton Private Capital, and like Karen and I, we like to take the complicated and just demystify it so that it becomes a no-brainer. Very much an eat your greens service, I would say, where people should be doing these things, but maybe you just need a bit of guidance, and then you'll realise, wow, why wasn't I doing this before? So I think we've got some great tips on if you're a business owner about managing your finances, or what you should know to protect yourself, particularly about what's happened at the moment. But I think it's really shone a light on what common practices we should be adopting. But anyway, I'm going to hand over to Rakhee. Tell us a little bit about yourself and why you're probably not like normal independent financial advisors, or what we would perceive to be independent financial advisors.
Brilliant. Thank you for that lovely intro, Christelle. Hello, everyone. I'm Rakhee Wood, independent financial advisor from Throgmorton. I've got 20 years experience in the industry, and the aim of the game for me is to give my clients financial freedom, independence and education. So together in collaboration, we can make the right choices for our clients. So it's a very bespoke service, and it's not a one-size-fits-all. Secondly, I'm interested to find out where you're at, where you want to go, and how we can fill that gap. It may be that you have things in place that suit you, so therefore we put a green tick and we move on. It may be that we need to complement what you've already got. So my attitude is very much, let me show you what I can do, let me show you how I can add value, and then it's something for you to decide whether you want to take on.
Karen, when you started your business, did you we were told get an accountant? I think that was the main thing, and that was for me in my head, tick. But did you have any sort of guidance, or were you aware of anything outside of get your finance business, or how to make our money work for us? Because I know that something I had to learn along the way.
Yeah, well, actually, I think it was through an Athena group, not your one, obviously, but one I was in an Amersham, where I sort of met quite a lot of independent financial advisors. And yeah, it was quite a new thing to me, because there was always that get an accountant, or quite often when you're self-employed, you do it yourself to start off with. But yeah, when there's no kind of advice of what to do with your money and how to budget, or where to put your savings and that, it's quite a minefield. And I think people are quite often nervous to go to someone because they think it's going to cost a lot of money. And I think this is the thing that's that big myth about working with IFAs, isn't it? That you're going to have to go and pay a lot of money, like a lawyer or something, to use their services. And so they don't do it. And I think on another level as well, it's just like, finances and money is something people stress a lot about. So you just bury your head in the sand. Forget about it.
I think that's one. And again, I came from the security of a job to work for myself, to insecurity, really, essentially, because there are certain things that you can't control. This year being interesting as it is, but it's happened before. So to actually have some things in place that can protect you for the things that you don't account for, just to have that foresight, I think that is one of the biggest gifts that I found. Because again, it could be things like illness. I was ill, I was trying to navigate around my health last year, and I heard of the profit first model, which was you put away 10% of any profit you make, straight away. Don't wait for the end of the year, but as soon as it comes in. And it means for the first time I was able to save, and it just meant that I had a buffer. But it's just these little things that nobody tells you, and how to make your money work for you. So like you say, Karen, once you start making the money, what do you do with it? That you're like, oh, just even if it's a little bit, how can that just protect you going forwards?
Yeah.
So you don't have to worry about things, because we are essentially, I mean, I think a lot of company directors right now are really feeling it. So anyway, I think what we would say, Rakhee, I would love to hear from you. Like, what are your, what I found fascinating is your like top tips, your 3 top tips, and I'm sure we'll have a couple more. And if anyone's got any questions as Rakhee's talking, like, please let us know and drop them in the comments below, because this advice is just very sage. So yeah.
Thank you. So the first thing I'd say is have a look at your expenditure. What is going out of your personal account every single month? I meet clients who have a couple of husbands got an account, wife's got an account, bills go out of this account, and it feels like a massive jumble. So try and streamline that. I can help with that and send you some spreadsheets to help you collate what is your essential expenditure, what is your non-essential expenditure. We can actually see how much money you need to live on month. Then I would suggest, to help us during times like this, illnesses, etc., if boiler breaks, have a rainy day pot, an emergency fund that's sitting in an instant access account that's not going to earn you lots of money, but it's there in the event of any unforeseen circumstances. And I would say that you should have 3 to 6 months worth of your earnings, worth of your expenditure sitting in this pot.
That's the goal.
Yes. The aim is to try and save 20 to 25% of what you earn. Just swipe it away into another account and pretend you haven't earned it. So that would be my first top tip. So if the boiler breaks, we have another coronavirus outbreak, whatever, you know that you've got 3 to 6 months worth of money sitting there. The next thing to do is to think about protection. We're all business owners, and we've chosen this path because we like to control our diary, we like to control who we work with, and we've taken a risk by coming out of employment to go into self-employment. But what that means is we've lost benefits that we had whilst we were employed. For example, life cover, sick pay, critical illness cover. So it's really important that we fund those things ourselves, because if something like that were to happen, what happens to our plans for the future if we haven't got an insurance policy in place? It's really important, though, that when we set these things up, we know whether the business should pay for it and what the benefits are of that, the tax advantages of doing that, versus you paying for it personally, and what the pros and cons are of that, which is where I can come in to help you ensure that you get the most cost efficient product in the most tax efficient way. And then lastly, are we maximising all our tax allowances? There's loads out there. Businesses can pay for certain things, you can pay for certain things personally. There's a gazillion ways that we can save, pay for life cover, save for our future, and use the tax breaks that the government gives us. But they are changing all the time. So it's really important that you work with your financial advisor to know is what the business can pay for coming out of the business account. Are you getting the tax advantages of doing that? Is what you can pay for personally being paid for personally? Is that the right way to do it, or should we be structuring things differently? Equally with your pay. How are you taking your income from the business? Have you got other income that it might be better that we spend that and leave the business income where it is? So they're the areas that I can help with.
Oh, amazing.
Once we've got all of that set up, our rainy day pot, we know our expenditure, we know our tax allowances, we've got our protection, then we can look to medium term and longer term savings and investments. And then that opens another area that I can help with, where we're looking at our future planning, making sure we've got our tax allowances covered, but also, are we investing in the right way? I've got a lot of clients at the moment who are very much interested in investing in a sustainable manner. And I'm very passionate about that area myself. So it's not only about getting the best return in the most tax efficient way, but are we doing something for the greater good with our money?
Oh, well, you like that, wouldn't you, Karen?
I know, it's just like ding. I've been writing down, sorry, I've just muted myself a little bit there because I was just writing down kind of just the key points that you were raising, so maybe we can share them with people in the comments as well. So yeah, some really good stuff there.
It kind of breaks it down so it makes it a little bit more accessible, doesn't it? Because ultimately, I think what happens is that we're just given this, like we all know what we've got to do. I think everyone's sitting there thinking savings, everyone's thinking, I mean, I laugh when I say it, but pension, you know, it's like, you know, some of us, and the problem is that we start this business and we're on a bit of a mission. And next thing you know, you put your head up and it's like, oh, it's a year. Oh, it's 5 years. Oh, I still can't believe it's coming up to 10 for me. You know, it's a bit of a jaw drop when I think about it and just go, crikey, my plan. And you always think, oh, I've got to wait until I have the money before you do these things. But actually, I think one of the best things I did was speak to an independent financial advisor who set me up and said, right, let's talk about critical illness. Let's talk about income protection. What is it that we can do? And then as I've learned more and more, and there are more independent financials out there, you know, advisors out there putting some information on social, like you can find it to get savvy. But like you say, Rakhee, everybody has their own personal circumstance and things that they've got to consider, that you think, well, actually it has to be tailor-made in the end. So that's why it's so important to actually have a conversation, and you can try and do the best you can and speak to your accountant, but I think it's almost like you need the bridge, don't you, between the business and your personal, and we always forget that, and how to break it down in stages has been a really valuable point to your talk, I feel.
Good, thank you.
So go on.
I was just going to say, so for me, I like to show people where the value is before we even get into any fees. So for me, it's about, you tell me where you're going, what you'd like to achieve, what your plans are. I'll show you how I can achieve that. If you're in agreement with my plan, that's when we proceed to actually implement the advice, and that's when you pay. Prior to that point, you don't have to pay. So it's like you get your plan, you know, essentially made for free.
Yeah. And can I just ask, with regards to the sort of like with regards to other financial advisors and what the common barriers might be, like you've just explained it in such a way that I'm like, right, I need to have a chat with you, which I've told you I need to. But I'm just thinking, what are the common barriers? Like, what is it that people should be questioning if they speak to an IFA? Like, what is it that you would like people to be aware of, so that they're not being sold any package? Like, what is it they've got to make sure fits with an independent financial advisor?
There's lots of good advisors out there, and we've all got the same qualifications to be able to call ourselves a financial advisor. However, there are two distinct types. One is restricted, where what that means is they're not independent. They're tied to a company. So, for example, a bank, which is what I used to do. I used to work for HSBC Bank. I'm still a financial advisor. I've still got all the exams, but my solution is only HSBC products. Now that I'm independent, I don't have any products under my, you know, that I get any income from or I'm part of. I am going out to search the market to find you the best solution for you. And I love the fact that I'm independent now, because the whole world has opened up. So that's one thing. Check the status of the advisor. Are they tied to one provider, or are they independent? Secondly, advising business owners is very different to advising somebody who's employed or retired, because the business owner has got that business element where they're earning money in a different way. So you've got your salary, your dividends, self-employed profits, etc. So it's important that the advisor you speak to understands business taxation, because like I said, some things can be paid for by the business, some things can't. And if the advisor can understand that, then you're going to get the best solution. And I think not all advisors do that part.
Okay, thank you.
That's really interesting, yeah, because it's like it's bridging that gap, or someone might not even have an accountant.
Yes.
If they're self-employed or something, they might do it themselves. So that's really interesting to know that. Good things to look out for, I think. And for me, another one is, like you said, you invest, you're really passionate about investing sustainably as well. I mean, that's a big thing, I think, if your values match.
Yes.
The independent financial advisor as well. So that's good. Good to know.
So if somebody wanted to speak to you, so you offer a 30-minute or a 45-minute consultation free,
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes. Well, it's actually 2 meetings that I offer for free. So we can take it further. The first sort of 30 to 45 minutes is high level. Find out about you, where you're going, and I can tell you how I can help you with that. You may have existing protection policies, pensions, investments. I'll go off and review those products free of charge for you. Then we'll meet for a second meeting and I'll present my solutions. I'll say, well, this is what you've got. This is great. We'll leave that where it is. This could do better, because what you actually told me is you want to invest in a sustainable manner, and this isn't doing that. So what I could do is move that one over here to give it the sustainable style of investment that you've asked for. So we go all the way to that point, and then you can say, yeah, let's do it. That makes perfect sense. Or no, thank you. Thanks for how far we've got and the information that you've given me, but I'll just leave it there for now. Most people, once you've seen what I can do, will carry it through to finalise the plans.
Amazing. We'll pop the details underneath the chat, so both on Karen's and mine, and then we'll be able to share Rakhee's details, and thoroughly recommend it, because even just to understand it or get your head around it. If there are any questions as well, if you're watching this not on live but on repeat, on replay, again, pop your questions in, because I do feel that, as a community of business owners, things like this, like Karen and I remember at the beginning we were talking about accountants, and at the very beginning we're all sharing and collaborating here. So I think it's really important to have some honest discussions about some of the icky subjects like money, as well as marketing. So when you're doing all your marketing and getting that money in, what to do with it. So really equally as important. So thank you so much for your time, Rakee. I don't know, Karen, have you got any questions or?
No, I think it's covered. Finance is one of those things. I think it's sort of like, I can't take too much in at one go, because it's a subject I don't know a lot about. But I think you've really laid that out really nicely and simply, and I've kind of taken down a few notes that I think I can put into the chat and comments. But I'll check that with you first to see if I've got it right. But I think that's really people. So thank you so much.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity. Thank you very much.
And I hope people take this offer up, because I think that's really important, whether you go ahead with it or not. I think it's a really nice offer.
Good to put you in an informed position. That's the aim of the game, so you know where you're at.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Well, that's given us food for thought. We're off, but we will see you next week for another chat. Back again with our cups of tea, coffee, herbal teas, smoothies, whatever you've got. Come along, come and have a chat. But yeah, have a great week, everyone. See you next week.
See you next week.